Hey, Super Deformed Volkswagen fans. Today we're gonna do this one here, but I wanted to talk about these Q boxes. I ordered these three models in some Q boxes because I wanted to extend the choro-q tower I have here. So I thought I'd just talk about these. They were pretty inexpensive. I ordered these directly off the TinyQ website, and if you buy a bunch of models, the shipping isn't even bad, or at least to Asia it's not. But then again, TinyQ is located in Asia. I don't know what would happen if it was sent to, say, North America. But anyways, it might be worth a look. Alright, so it's kind of weird that these just came taped to the outside. Why wouldn't these be in one of the boxes? I don't know, seems odd. But you can configure them in this fashion here. I will be honest with you, I tried to stack this tower before with all these next to each other, and it gets tight. So that's why I think this picture has a gap in between. They're not all pressed up like on the bottom row. But in a cube, it's pretty tight, but it still is doable. It's just that doing this long length with everything next to each other, I found difficult to do. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. Maybe you'll have better luck. I don't know. All right, so simple enough packaging is fine. They're basically giant clear Lego blocks, and I think they're pretty well designed. I've taken my choro-q tower apart several times, and still nothing's cracked. I'm actually surprised that none of these are cracked yet. Okay, so naturally like this is fine, but as I mentioned, if you start staggering them and put them all next to each other, I had a hard time. Okay, so there is one door. It's only on this side, and you can see there's a tiny notch there for your fingers. And that's how you know, or you could just look. You can see the pin here. And so if you wanted to, you could take this little black thing, and it's got screws, and the black thing goes inside, and the screws go in through the bottom. And this thing is actually used to hold TinyQ chassis. These little, I guess, hooks, if you will. Hold on here. Yeah, those grab onto the chassis of a TinyQ. But we're not going to do that so much because I don't even use them for that purpose. Older TinyQs or the Pro Series come in these boxes, so if you buy a Pro Series TinyQ, you should probably get one of these anyways. Alright, but let's get these out. I have a different video on just making some bases for these things. It's just sandpaper, and I have double-sided tape stuck to the inside, and so in this fashion, there's actually an air gap here in the middle of one like circle, you know, and so I think that little gap is what allows this to work. Alright, get that out of the way. So if you like these sort of things, stay tuned. Later on I will do number 17 and number 18. This is the latest release off their website. But today we're going to start with number 16 of the Uno series, and that is the T1 bus, or transporter, and in this case pastel blue with a surfboard. We got some image there. I guess, yeah, it is supposed to be in that orientation. Pullback tire treads. Yeah, it is a pullback toy. Officially licensed by VW with this hologram. Elastic mirrors, which is a great thing, and then actually chrome headlights with clear lenses, so that's another great thing. We got the legalese down here, and then it is shrink wrapped in plastic, so let's get this pick in here. Alrighty. So the Uno is still looks like a fantastic model. It just doesn't have a metal base like the Pro Series, and it doesn't come in the nicer display case, which is fine by me because usually I just put these into like a file folder cabinet. Alright, this is the only image I could really find immediately that has only 1, 2, 3 windows, or technically 4 if you count the sliding window there on the side, so I thought I'd compare to this photograph, although it doesn't have the two-tone paint job. It's got the like rounded hubcap wheels, And yeah, I mean, for a cartoon, it still looks like this van. It's got the venting in the back there. Okay. And then obviously there's a whole variety of multiple windows, no wind panel vans, that kind of stuff. So let's take a closer look at this. I'll lower the camera angle here. So this pastel blue is nice. It's not metallic though. And then there's a cream. It's not white. It's like a cream or eggshell color on the top part. And then the wheels here, yeah, I think there is a VW logo. Let me focus in on this front one. Yeah, VW logo molded in, and then it's a chromed plastic. And you can see the tires, they are rubbery and they're nicely rounded here, like old school tires. They look like balloons. And while we're at it, they do have treads. It is weird that, never mind. Well, I was going to say this looks wider than the rears. Maybe it is. I don't know. It just looks like a wider tire in the front than the rear. That seems odd to me, considering this bus is actually rear-wheel drive. Okay, so here's the plastic base, official licensing, and it tells you what it is, it tells you who made it, it just doesn't tell you when. When was the copyright originally done? These are those tabs that those black hooks grab onto if you do use one of those crystal boxes. And then, well, you can't see the motor spinning, but you know, why not test the speed a little bit? In case you actually do want to play with this thing. I think it's too nice to play around with because, yeah, it goes relatively fast. But I feel like if you hit a wall with this, I think you're gonna break the bumper. You know, it's too nice. You see the door even opened through the momentum here. So while we're at the door, so it's got a shelf in the interior door handle there. The outside here does have handles sticking out, painted silver. Yep, they are silver. And so this one has a different molding here. A bunch of knickknacks, paddywhacks in there. I don't know what a paddywhack is. Alright, there's no window here, but that's fine. I wonder if they roll down on the real T1, not sure. The hinges are exposed. What can you expect? It's a tiny toy. Nice door for the fuel, and it's got a bump sticking out, painted silver for the lock. These ridges are for those louvers there. Oh boy, I hope that wasn't meant to. Alright, it's just a friction fit. Well, we might as well talk about the surfboard. It looks pretty nice. It actually looks like it's kind of wood. You know what? It's a graphic, that's why. You can see the wrinkling. It's wrapped in like a decal or some sort of sticker. So they got the wood grain and, you know, it's nice. It's nicely done. I just hope this sticker doesn't like crack and get brittle and stuff in the future. So those two pins there to keep it on the roof rack, and then I like that this got the fin, but no graphic on that, of course. It's actually, the graphic is cut out around it. Alright, let's leave that off for now because that's just going to fall off. So the roof rack is chromed plastic, and I guess, well, you know, we'll put this back on because this 3 sets of holes, so you could shift this over, and I wouldn't doubt it if in the future they might have a second version with, I don't know if 2 of these, I don't think 2 surfboards will fit because it's passing the middle mark. But maybe they'll have like 2 other accessories instead. Maybe like a camping top or something like that. Although, would you put a camping top on a van? I'm not sure. Alright, let's see, continuing on this side. This front door handle sticking out and recessed and painted silver and a little dimple there for the key. And then this is chromed, this little part of the clear window, and it's definitely molded detail, so that's nice. That door doesn't open, right? No. So the rubbery mirrors, just like Mini GTs, fantastic, you know, better chance of surviving a drop. After all, it is a toy. And then, yes, the separate chromed bumper is made of plastic, and it's got even this tiny little bumperette thing with this little rail here, which is nice. And then what's really nice about these guys is the clear headlights, like a premium brand. You know, it's a clear lens and a really deep light bucket back there, and it looks like there's a light bulb because the clear lens peg is going in there. And then you got this chrome bezel printed on. It looks nice. That chrome bezel is also on the turn signal, I think. Yeah, it looks nice. And so the turn signal as well is clear amber, so orange or whatever. Very nice. This logo is three-dimensional chromed plastic, it seems. I think it's a separate piece because the color break is so good. So that's very cool. These windows, they have the chrome treatment to show the molding. Yeah, rubbery mirror. This side, so no door on this side here, just a window with the chrome. So that's just, and the fender, the little lip is sticking out there on the rear. I don't really see that on the images though of the real bands. Maybe in a certain year they came out with that. Maybe this is a later version. Alright, so in the back, nice. The Volkswagen is quite legible and it's actually raised. This is raised lettering. And I think it's got some silver paint on there. Yeah, it's definitely not sky blue, so that's good. So these things are raised and painted silver. Maybe they're hand grabs, I guess. Yeah, probably opens the hatch and opens the engine cover. And then clear taillights, orange and red separation, and chrome bezel going around it, so that's great. Just a white printed license plate, but the ridge of the license plate is dimensional. A little molding flash there, but that doesn't bother me too much for the cost of this model. Alright, yeah, going back to the bottom, there's standard construction for this brand, which is a screw in the front and like a tab system in the back. Alright, but the Unos also, they don't steer. The Pros will actually steer, so this one will not do so. I almost think the track width is narrower in the back, the space between the tires. The front track width is wider. Yeah, I think the reason why is because this tires, you know, is sunken in. It has to reside behind the plastic here, so it makes sense why that is. Alright, very cool. Yeah, just as expected from this brand. I would say TinyQ makes the best super deformed cars as far as mass manufactured super deformed cars. When you get to the resin ones, obviously the resin ones are nicer, but for mass produced, this is fantastic. I mean, clear lights front and rear, all these separate pieces. We didn't even talk about the interior, so let's do so. So nice that those doors open, but there's actually a table inside that interior, and then there's you know, some ribbing on these two couches, and then the front seats you can kind of see they have some ribbing. There's a stick shift there coming up from the floor. Very cool. Cool. There's some vent details on the dash, some sort of maybe a hand grab, I'm not sure. A very horizontal bus-like steering wheel, but there's air passing between the steering wheel spokes. Yeah, I don't know if there's instruments, but that's still pretty good for what it is. I mean, choro-qs almost never have an interior, and if they do, they're much more rudimentary than this. So, again, TinyQ, good stuff. Alright, so surfboard is back on. Let me pause and get the coaster out. Okay, so we'll start off with some vans. Here's a Volkswagen van from choro-q 0. So it's number 35 in the 0 lineup, and now it's called a microbus instead of a T1. See, you know, these are okay, but it's got painted taillights. It's got painted silver headlights, right? So it just falls way short of this brand here. But still, I bought it beforehand. And then, amazingly, this is even better, and it's a lot cheaper. This is made by Kinsfun, and it just says Little Van. So you can buy these on AliExpress. I've seen them listed there. I'm sure they must be on eBay. I actually bought this at like a little kiosk gift shop. It's got really giant wheels. It's a pullback toy as well, and you can also see the staggering because they're, you know, sinking the tires behind the casting there. Yeah, but this one has clear headlights. That's what I like about it. Painted taillights though, but this is a pretty cheap model. Yeah, interior as well. I haven't seen that one in a while. Okay, that's it for the Volkswagen vans, but I do have some other Volkswagens. Here's a choro-q from 2002. Yeah, it's a racing Beetle, and I have 3D printed wheels on this one. Not even a logo is printed on that, which is a shame. let's see. Here's a old choro-q of a Rabbit GTI, and just how old is this? It says 2001. Yep, so pretty old. I got some Hot Wheel real riders on this one. Painted details, yeah. At least this one has yellow headlights. Speaking of rabbits, I have Hot Wheels going on. These this Ryu Asada designed Volkswagen Golf Rabbit, whatever. I modified it a little bit, added some paint and a license plate, and I left the wheels alone. They're actually okay. Well, the exposed axle's not so much, but I think it's a great cartoon car that Mattel put out there, or really Ryu Asada designed. I think this next one Ryu may have designed as well. It has the same proportioning of like a choro-q, and this is their little dune buggy, but I've modified it quite a bit with wheels, tires, the V8 engine in the back, and the front lights and all that stuff. So yeah, one of my early cartoon customs. I do have another Zero, but of the variant wagon. I guess if you lived in Japan, you'd call this a van. Number 32 in the Zero lineup. Alright, I think that'll do. Plates, coaster's starting to get a little congested. So size-wise, it falls in line with the originator's choro-q, but it is taller. Even though the roof line is taller, so it also kind of falls in line with this Kinsfun, but Kinsfun doesn't make too many castings. So, all right, let's let this guy spin on its own. I got a new picture here of a blue one on the beach, as it should be. Well, again, in summary, this brand is awesome. If you like super deformed vehicles and you're new to collecting, you might want to just start with these guys, because choro-qs are highly expensive, and as you saw, the details just aren't there. Even the very best choro-qs are not as good as the very worst TinyQs. So TinyQ, great job. Continue what you're doing. I only wish you made more castings. I wish you put out more stuff more often. And then choro-q, as much as I love you, have hundreds of your toys. You guys got to clean up your act and do better, or reduce your prices. If your prices were like $10 at retail, that'd be a different story. But they're very often 2 to 3 times that much, which is kind of ridiculous. All right, well, anyways, it's a hobby again, so financial sense and hobbies generally aren't said in the same sentence. All right, thank you for watching, and we'll see you around.